Okay, should be live. Let me just check it on YouTube. Okay, we're live now. Perfect. Check the sound here. Okay, sound is good. All right, welcome everyone to this week's BaconDAO Live, specifically the Sunday BaconDAO community call. We still have people joining on the Discord site, so welcome everyone. As usual, every Sunday at, I think, is it 6 p.m. UTC, we host this call with our regular contributors. So currently we have today for Viper, our main BSC head contributor, Mahi, our Polkadot/Kusama contributor, and Luke, our low cap other chains Bitcoin dominance analyst contributor. Yeah, so for this week, for starting this Sunday's call, we'll try to cut it a little bit shorter because we used to do right around 2 hours for every week, but we'll be splitting up the calls into two. So for this call today, it'll only be Viper, Mahi, and Luke's presentation in their specific areas. And then we'll do a little bit of like BaconDAO update for this week. We have the Axie Scholarship application going live. And then we'll go straight into Q&A and try to cut it at the 1 hour mark. For the rest of my analysis for my Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance, and altcoin picks, etc., I'll host a separate call tomorrow, along with a potential new insider report that's coming back. Will be released tomorrow, just as before when we had the Monday insider reports. So that hopefully tomorrow I have a written format as well as a call around the same time tomorrow for that. So I think that would be a better way to present it, just to keep things clean and keep it to the 1 hour mark. So without further ado, let's get into it. Viper, are you, yeah, you're up first. Is it going to be BSC first or is it something specific? I can...
Yeah, so and I'm sharing my screen now. This will be BSC specific. I guess the tips that I want to share this week really translate to every single chain. I think, although I mainly go into BSC, I think these are basic things that everyone needs to know, and some people know but don't do these steps. So I kind of wanted to go over what you should do in your due diligence when looking into a coin, not only for your protection regarding like honeypots and rugs, but also just so that you don't miss out opportunities when trying to buy. I want to first go over, now of course this is on BSC scan, but as you guys know, BSC is just a fork of ETH. So anything that's EVM compatible, such as ETH, Matic, not ETH, but Matic, BSC, KCC, etc., it'll be the same process. But Solana has its own different methodology. So I want to kind of go over what you should do in the first step when you're looking into, hey, should I buy this coin? The first thing I like to do is go to their token if you have the token address, click on the contract. And as I mentioned, this means it's verified, which doesn't mean it's not going to rug pull or honeypot, but it's the bare minimum that they should have. I've mentioned many times that compiler version 0.6.12, now assuming this is a new project just released, is almost always a honeypot. There's no reason they should be using this old of a compiler. My example here is SafeMoon. It's an old project, so that's fine. But I want to point out something really funny and specific that is a red flag for me. When you go to the code and you verify your contract, BSC scan will automatically show submitted for verification right here. But if you see this twice, that means these people copy and pasted someone's code and didn't even have the common decency or the logic to even remove their copied submitted for verification. So it's actually kind of funny. If you go on SafeMoon, you can see, wow, they copied a contract. Now, I believe SafeMoon it's the first of its kind to offer a auto liquidity reflect. So this could simply also mean that they've deployed a token and then figured, okay, I needed to change something. so redeployed their token by copying it. So, that's possibly the case, but 9 out of 10 times you'll see submitted for verification, I don't know, February 2nd of 2021, and now it's, December, so you're like, oh, wow. So you clearly copied some token that was submitted on this day. That's the first step. But something that I really want to emphasize, and this is seriously a way to not only check and do your due diligence, but also so you don't miss out on these tokens, because if you're a avid shitcoin buyer like myself, you'll notice that a lot of these shitcoins have anti-whale measures. What does that mean? That basically means that, okay, max transaction is 0.05% of total supply, max wallet's 2% of total supply, etc. So if you're there sitting there trying to get an early entry and you're trying to buy too much, it's going to keep failing. And a lot of times these projects don't really tell you exactly how many tokens you can buy, or what the anti-whale measures are ahead of time. They kind of tell you late. What you need to do is go to read contract. This is the first place I always go to. Okay, this will tell you liquidity fee. 5% will be going to liquidity. Max transaction amount, tax fee. You don't need to know about these. Unlock time, excluded from. You don't need to know those. Owner address. You can track the owner address, see what he's doing. Swap and liquefy. You don't need to. Symbol. Total fees, total supply, etc. Now, that's the first thing I do to see what's the max transaction amount. What's the tax? The second thing you should always do is click write contract. These are the functions that the devs themselves may exercise. So you can see here, you can see exclude from fee. They can take certain addresses and exclude them from the tax, basically whitelisting them from the tax. So they can trade without paying the 10% burn fee or whatever. Exclude from reward. They can exclude you from getting rewards. Include in fee, include in reward. Lock. They can lock. So basically blacklist you. Renounce ownership. So they say, oh, we can't renounce ownership. That's bullshit. I see it right here. Set liquidity fee percent. They can change liquidity fee percent. Set max transaction percent. Now this is important, okay? If this is in there, so I cannot make a list of functions that to look out for in a honeypot. You can honeypot in thousands of ways. That's why all these honeypot checkers, they don't work until liquidity is added, because all it's checking is, can I buy and sell? But even if it says, oh, it's not a honeypot, I can buy and sell, they can change something to make it into a honeypot. Prime example, liquidity fee. As we saw up there, liquidity was like, what, 5%? They could put 99% here. They could put 100%, which means if you try to sell or if you try to transfer to a different wallet, the liquidity fee is 100%, so they take it all. There are so many ways you can be honeypotted. So why is that important if this function's there? Well, if it's a new token that just launched and has all these possible honeypot features, they need to renounce the contract. Now, most of the time they don't, and that doesn't mean it's going to rug or honeypot. It's all based on trust and stuff. But just know if it's not a renounced contract, these functions can be changed. So this dev going on write contract, these are the functions. They just type in the amount here, right? And then click write and it changes it. So once you renounce it though, you can't make any changes. The reason why most projects don't renounce contract is because if something bad happens, if there's a bug, if there's something not working, they can't go back and fix it, which makes sense why a lot of projects don't renounce. But just understand understand the red flags, understand the possibilities of honeypot with features like this. If you keep going down, you set tax fee percent, put 100% there. You can go to transfer, that's fine, transfer ownership, unlock. So it's very, very important, guys, not only to check to see, hey, what can this dev do to me if it's an unrenounced contract, but it's also important to make money because, and this has happened to me many times when I'm lazy and I don't want to click on write contract, and read the code, and I'm just going off of the values that they post in the Telegram. Not only do they tell you late, hey, you can only buy this many tokens, but sometimes they often tell you the wrong amount. So just checking can make sure and ensure that you don't have a late buy if you're truly wanting to get in early. So that's just another spiel of mine about really checking the contract. And this next Thursday on my educational call will be great. It'll go way more in depth on this, and it'll also talk about other features to look out for. Thank you, Dennis.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Viper. I think you make some really good points there, especially for just everyone should be aware of like what they're looking at once they're on Etherscan or BSC scan, right? So really good points. Like if when you see the contract as being like having that green check mark, it is verified, meaning what the code is, it shows there is actually of the contract, but it doesn't mean that there isn't nefarious code in there. So, but yeah, that's the bare minimum, so that people, the devs are willing to put out to show what their code is. That's the bare minimum for like blockchain technology, right? Is a smart contract should be public, and then like everyone should, if you're like aping into stuff, you should at least know how to use Etherscan, how to read and write contracts directly. But definitely lots of good points there. And yeah, I think I can learn quite a bit from that. But typically I just read the code directly, and then it doesn't apply as much to Ethereum, but definitely on BSC, there are so many like all kinds of weird projects that like build these mechanisms that block trading and have taxes for their trading that's built into the token itself, which is honestly so BSC unique, but definitely something very important to know if you are.
The reason why it's so important, and I've been emphasizing it, is because botting has become a huge problem. You know, I would say maybe 60% of people are botters. And so devs are trying to become unique. They're trying to add all these features to screw bots. But in reality, a lot of times these people are not devs. They are just YouTube warriors who watched a 3-minute video on how to use Remix. And they're deploying code that screws over normal people. And so a prime example is last week or two, I went in, looked at the code. They were taxing 99% for 3 minutes as an anti-bot feature. I told them, do you realize that a normal PancakeSwap user using no bots at earliest can reach after the third block? You realize you're taxing like 100 blocks. You're just trying to, you're trying to steal money from people, but say, oh, I told you so in the beginning. If you're really wanting to do anti-bot measures, you don't release the contract. You tell people, hey, I'll post it once the tax is over, and don't buy it until I tell you. There's no sense of putting. So I went on the Telegram chat and I ousted them right there. I told them, hey, I looked at your code. This is that. And, of course they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll have to change it. And so if I didn't say something, because most people don't do their due diligence or most people don't know what to look for. If I didn't say something, they're going to keep 3-minute tax. So I would not have known that
3 minutes would have been.
So
yeah, questionable. Like they could have known it, and then just 3 minutes of like, oh, we didn't know, kind of, but rug. So if you buy it within that 3 minute, your money is just gone. So that's pretty nuts. Wow. Okay. Anyways, thanks for that, Viper. For everyone that's interested in BSC, in following Viper's latest strategies for sniping and how to look out for good and bad projects in the BSC ecosystem, definitely check out his educational call happening later this week. I believe it's Thursday, the 26th. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that would be the first call right after our launch. So that'll be interesting. Cool. Yeah. So, okay. Next up, we have Mahi. Mahi is our Polkadot / Kusama head contributor. He's been following all of the latest happenings in that ecosystem. And right now, there are a lot of opportunities for crowd loans for when projects look to their community to support them by loaning them Kusama KSM tokens. And in exchange, they get the project's parachain tokens and your KSM back. And a lot of them have different economics built in to reward people. So Mahi, what's up? please tell us what's happening in Polkadot/Kusama.
Yep. So I'll be recapping.
Oh, your mic just cut off. I'm not sure if it's me or you, but here, go again. Okay, we can come back to you.
Wait, what'd you say?
You guys hear me fine, right? Viper and Loop?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's most likely could be your internet, I think. Try again.
So
Okay, yeah.
on August 19th, the Web3 Foundation concluded their research on the first 5 Kusama parachain slot auctions and published a report with the findings. So I'll read a quick excerpt from that. So what they concluded was the arrival of slot auctions to the Kusama network marks an exciting time for the entire Polkadot ecosystem and blockchain as a whole with the advent of parachains. We made a big step towards scalable, decentralized, and interoperable future. The first 5 parachain projects that went live were Karura, Moonriver, Shiden, Kala, and Bifrost. These projects are about to add great functionality to the Kusama ecosystems by providing DeFi features, liquidity solutions, and smart contracts. In conclusion, the outcome of the auctions was largely shaped by overwhelming use of crowd loans and their specific implementation, while from a purely theoretical perspective, we observed some unusual factors. Most of them can be accounted for by the nature of the onboarding phase. Generally, the candle mechanism seems to have incentivized earlier bidding or contributing to the highest back teams won the respective slots. So basically, what from their research of the first auctions, they found some flaws with the candle bidding system. Mainly that it basically in every circumstance, the highest bidding team had the auction the whole way. Like there was almost no chance for anyone that didn't have the highest bids because they just couldn't outbid. And no matter there's some randomness to it because it picks a random block to choose the winner from, but basically at any given point the winner would be the team with the most KSM contributed. So that was the
Oh, you cut off again.
I can go back.
Okay, so any specific upcoming crowd loans or when? Oh, he's gone. Okay, I think he's reconnecting. But yeah, I think so. We have the top 5 slots already secured, right? The winners have already been kind of selected. Okay, I'll add you to the stream again. You're back.
I'm back. Sorry. I just cut out. My bad. I was a bit.
Yeah. So just to break that down, so we have the top 5 that's been top 5 winners of the KSM parachains already for a while, right? And currently the auctions are on pause. So the top 5 are Karura, in no particular order because I don't remember, but Shiden, which is like Astar, Moonriver, and then like
Bifrost
2 up, Bifrost and Kala. Okay, and then is there something actionable that's coming up next for dates?
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
the 6th one is coming?
Yeah. I was actually just gonna get to that.
Okay.
So with this, it was announced that the parachains 6 through 10 will be held on Kusama during the month of September. The dates for the upcoming auctions are, so the first auction will start on September 1st, the 7th, a week later on the 8th, and etc. So that they're all starting a week from each other, and we'll have 6 through 10 completed by the end of September. And once again, those will all be on Kusama. So naturally, with all of these new slots opening up, more projects want in on Kusama, so more crowd loans are starting. So I researched one crowd loan in particular, Altair Network by Centrifuge. I might cut out after scroll.
It's okay. Let me bring up the. So that's already very actionable. So we have the months of September is going to have another 5 crowd loans, 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Specifically for Kusama, starting from September 1st, and then every week after that. So just for everyone that's not familiar, so these are the parachain slots that are absolutely necessary for a parachain or one of the blockchains to really work well in the Kusama ecosystem. So these projects will ask their community to buy KSM essentially and loan it to them, and in return to get some of the project tokens in proportion. So we saw a big Kusama run in July, I think, just because of this. So yeah, it looks like September will be a big month for KSM.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking too, because even the Web3 Foundation noted that a lot more KSM was locked up into crowd loans than they anticipated in the first 5. Like, I think Karura did 120,000 KSM alone, and Bifrost something similar to that. So a lot of KSM are being used and locked up, and the supply is only 10 million. So, but I want to get to talking about Altair by Centrifuge. It's a crowd loan I got into, and I think they're competing for the 6th slot auction. So Altair combines the industry-leading infrastructure built by Centrifuge to finance real-world assets on the Centrifuge chain, with the new experimental features before they go live on the Centrifuge chain. It is a network for users that want to test the bounds of asset financing, from arts to NFTs to other undiscovered real-world assets. Altair enables users to tokenize their most experimental assets and finance them. It is the next step for anyone looking to unlock financing for their assets. Altair is built for risk takers and innovators who dare to push the limits of DeFi, powered by the AIR token. So that's the token for the crowd loan. So kind of in short, it's not really like anything I've seen on Ethereum, like financing like actual real world assets. So art is something that's in NFTs. There's talks about like financing a car or financing part of your mortgage on it, but I don't know. But it seems like even if this doesn't work out for them, real world assets is a relatively untapped market for DeFi, and they're certainly the only one doing this on Kusama. So I think supporting this crowd loan might be a pretty good option. Might be pretty lucrative. So I'm supporting 3 crowd loans for this next auction season. So they are Centrifuge, Calamari Network, which I already talked about, and Basilisk, which I also already talked about. So I think if I had to make a guess, I'd say Basilisk will win the 6th auction, because they were competing closely with Bifrost for the 5th auction. So
Yeah.
the Basilisk crowd loan could also be something to look into. Basilisk is by Hydra DX, of course.
Okay.
Besides that,
That's a pretty strong project. Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep looking into crowd loads, and whenever there's a good opportunity, I'll post it in Polka Gems. I think I posted Centrifuge for Altair yesterday. So if you're at all interested in crowd loans for Kusama, now is a great time to get in. There's 5 more options.
That's a very interesting. I think so I think first question from me is like so assuming that if I contributed to Karura, what were the returns like? Or I think Karura is the only one that's listed, right? The token for the first 5.
Yeah. Of the first five, Karura is the only one that has like centralized exchange listings, and I mean the returns are really good. I think. Um,
So what was the rate in like the
it was
crowd loan? And
it was
then yeah.
11 or 12 KAR per one Kusama, and I
Yeah.
think the KAR token peaked at like $8 or $9, and then you get your KSM back. So
Yeah, okay, so yeah, Kuro's right now at like $7. So 11 or 12 KR for 1 KSM, and then so like that's like, let's say TWAP $300, you get 12 times 8, like $100 worth. So like 1/3 of what you put in, but you get that amount back. So that's really good for but so I think maybe maximum expectation, it's like 30% of what you contribute as profit. Now, what's the timeline like? How long after day one did they list or distribute the tokens? Or
so
typically?
Karura was actually really fast with it because I mean they seem to have a really great team behind them, and
Yeah.
they have a lot of funding. So they probably had prior plans of winning the first auction and getting listings, because they only got listed maybe 2 weeks later. I remember
Okay.
it was during the third auction when the KAR token was getting listed on like KuCoin and stuff. But for the rest of them,
Okay.
the timeline is uncertain. All of the projects have distributed their tokens to the crowdloan participants, but I mean, centralized listings will happen soon.
Okay, so I'll do a little bit more research in where you can trade them. Maybe like, so the second one is Shiden, right? And then perhaps if we can find out if Shiden is already trading anywhere and what the prices are at and when it started trading. But regardless, I think that's really good information. So first off, in the month of just to summarize the opportunity here, in the month of September, there's going to be another 5 crowd loans, which will drive higher demand for KSM tokens to be locked up for crowd loans. And also assuming that Altseason continues, this is really good because right now we're seeing like all kinds of other alternative layer 1 chains pop up. Like Avalanche is starting to pop, Solana, Luna are all really good. Polkadot and Kusama haven't popped up just yet. So that's another good like narrative that confirms that. So I would say for the month of September, for me, myself, if I think first off, Altseason continues, and I think Polkadot and Kusama technology and the chain is good, but like undervalued, underexplored, then I would probably bet on KSM instead of DOT right now because of the crowd loans. And then if you want extra yield on top of that, then you can, like if you were going to hold your KSM for a month anyways, you might as well just do a couple of crowd loans and then like later on you get all your KSM back, but these projects will also distribute tokens. So just like Mahi said, there's 3 that's really good. So there's Centrifuge or their canary network is called Altair, right? And then there's Basilisk, which is HydraDX, and then there's the other one, Calamari,
by Manta Network.
Yes.
Also, I want to add one more thing.
Yep.
If you guys want to learn more about the crowd loans, because there's a lot of them. I only talk about the big ones that I think are worth entering. But if you guys want to learn about the tokenomics of all these crowd loans, the rewards, and kind of the key features of them, check out the Parachain spreadsheet. It's pinned in the PokeGems channel, and it has information about most of the teams conducting crowd loans, and it'll get updated as new information arises.
Perfect. I didn't even know that was there. That'd be really useful. Yeah, I think. Thank you for that, Mahi. I think this was, at least for myself, very practical presentation, because now I know, okay, for month of September, I'll be adding KSM to kind of definitely my watch list and probably take a position there. Yeah, could be a good time. Perfect. Thanks for that, Mahi. Appreciate it. Let's move on to our low cap / layer 2 head contributor, Luke. What's up, Luke? Let's discuss. Yeah, not much. Let's discuss other chains and what we have going on, any altcoin gem picks. I see you're sharing screen. I'll add that to the stream if you want.
Yes. So I guess the only altcoin gem pick I have so far, I dropped it yesterday in the low caps gem. It's a pre-sale that's currently going on Skyward. It's the Octopus network, which we talked about last week. It allows apps to relay liquidity to one another on their own chain, rather than rely on Polkadot or Ethereum or whatever layer 1 they're on. And yeah, so currently 1 oct is worth, just switched it. 1 oct is worth 0.26 near, which is currently about $1.40. So when Octopus goes live, it will have a market cap of $42 million, which I think is a pretty good valuation for it. I do think there might be a little bit of a pullback, but I think this is a pretty good pick overall. For those who are wanting to participate in the sale, it goes a little bit different than a lot of the other ones. You put in your deposit. So I put in near. I originally put in 250 near into this pool, and then it slowly deducts my near through the length of the IDO. The IDO is a week, and so we see here the sale is going to end in 6 days, and by the end of this timer, I should have 0 near, and I should have around 849 octopus. So
okay.
I think this is a good opportunity, but I do anticipate maybe a little bit of a pullback, as there's not too much of a narrative in near right now. However, like with the KSM parachain auctions coming up and whatnot, I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be a narrative shift back over into interoperability, and I'm hoping that Octopus would get some limelight there, because I think it does have a bit more novel tech compared to.
I see.
Yeah. So
yeah.
anyway.
So it has a dApp chains, right? That's what we talked about last week. Yeah, I think. Yeah, good points. I think the most important thing is for near to have like the limelight as well. So if you move down the list, right, like all the major layer ones are starting to pop one after one, right? Like you have the Solana, Luna, Avalanche, just like when we had BSC and Polygon. Now you have, and then just down the list you have like Algorand, Atom, I don't know, Near, Harmony. There's like another one that's just skipping my mind. Elrond, right? I think one thing though is really important is that actually drove this Avalanche like bull run, basically the whole ecosystem. It's like their ecosystem fund, like their accelerator fund type of thing. Those like that drives a lot of narrative because BSC, when they first launched, they had a $100 million accelerator fund. They're like, it's a grants program, and then you saw like BSC do really well for the next like 3 months or so. Polygon, when they launched, they had like 40 million joint liquidity incentive with Aave to like basically like any of the DeFi platforms, they launch on there and then they can mine like Matic. Matic just give them Matic tokens. And then they did really well, and Polygon went up like 5x in a month. Now Avalanche just announced their incentive, which is like 140 million, I think. So that's what a lot of people are like expecting. It's like, okay, so this is going to last like 2-3 months at least. So upwards momentum for Avalanche, AVAX tokens, upwards momentum for all the ecosystem plays. So if Near can do something similar, I don't know how much funding they have and who their core backers are, but hopefully they can do something similar. That would be a big push.
Yeah, and I agree with your analysis on the incentives, and that's what exactly what you just said. We saw Binance Smart Chain and Polygon pop off afterwards. Yeah. And these incentives haven't even started yet. It's just the news currently.
Yeah, so I think they only said like they're doing like 30 or 40 million or something for the first month.
Okay.
I think that's what I read. Like they call it the Avalanche Rush, right? And then, I think the two things needs to be there, right? For this kind of incentives. Like Solana can't really do it because it's not EVM. Polkadot can't really do it because like if the developer ecosystem is not there yet, if they launch it, they'll just get a whole bunch of shitcoins that like aren't even good enough to get a grant. But if you're EVM compatible chain like BSC, Polygon, Avalanche, and Near, then you can do like a grant, and then as long as you support the Solidity, you have a bridge. It's super easy for teams to just start move over and have the incentive, at least for the few months that you are incentivizing them. So for that, Near does have an advantage because it is EVM. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Avalanche. What's your view on it?
So my view on it has been, so I've been in Avalanche for a pretty long time now, probably since March, I would say. It's been kind of a pretty dead network. Like even before when like Polygon was around, and it was before it got real hyped. Polygon had a lot of, or it didn't have a lot, but it had a few novel projects that weren't on Solana or weren't on, or they were on Ethereum, but they were done better on with less gas. And these were like Poly Markets, and I think Plot was another one. What was that?
Aavegotchi? Maybe?
Oh yeah, Aavegotchi was another one.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily what I was talking about, but yeah, that would be another novel use case. Yeah. And currently, I don't see the same these same kind of novel projects on Avalanche. Like I see a lot of copy and paste, like.
I get what you mean. I check all of these. I check Pangolin, Joel, Benty, Penguin, Snowball. Like they're all just copy paste. So sorry to take your limelight there, but
it's great that I'm getting a little bit of traction, anyways. So yeah, it's just when I look at the space. Like with Near, for example, like Near is pretty dead itself. Like it has one automated or one DEX, right? And then and that DEX is kind of like Sushi, where it has like borrowing and it's really just dead. But the one thing I like about Near versus a lot of these other ones is they have some unique stuff. Like they have their own like Decentraland in a way. It's called Decentracity. Okay. And you can walk around and it's kind of like their own metaverse. So like we see the metaverses are kind of starting to do well, and that they're kind of starting like a building a narrative that's starting to get built up. And Avalanche is kind of already, not Avalanche. Near has their own Decentracity, and they're trying to build out, or has a team trying to build out metaverses. And then they have a collection of DAOs, I think too. Like they have a record DAO for music artists. Which we have seen with other, layer ones and whatnot, but it's it's not just the copy pasta that we see on every network where, oh, this is a Uniswap mock project. This is here's another replica of Aave, and here's a replica of this. There's some kind of new use cases on there. So going back to Avalanche now, I just don't see too much of these unique, novel use cases. Like, I think going over here to Retoke and just skipping all of them, like, this is a bit of a novel use case. They are tokenizing real estate. And so one thing that caught my eye, I did not read this before doing this. I kind of was just wanted to get some Avalanche stuff up, and I was just kind of reading through this. But one thing that caught my eye was our token is backed by a portfolio of rented houses and apartments. Yeah. So that kind of caught my eye, which I'm not too big on the real estate space, but I don't think we see too many other real estate tokens.
That are I forgot which one, but there's one that's like already selling some houses through tokenized shares. Name skips my mind, but we talked about it before on ETH. But yeah, it doesn't have that much volume either, and it's been around for years.
Mm-hmm. But would something like would lesser fees? I
don't know. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Like, you really need the volume for it, right? This isn't a case of like, if I were to buy real estate on a network, like tokenized, I think the settlement, like the what's it called? Some like custody and making sure that the house is there is very important. The provider they work with. So the actual payment and how I'll get interest and etc. I can do that on ETH. I'm okay like getting payment like once a month and then just paying like once a month, right? And with one transaction, it costs $100. It's fine. It's still cheaper than real world. And I don't know. I don't think this is one case that needs like much faster and cheaper network. Because there wouldn't be like 100 people dealing with each other anyways. I think overall, go ahead.
Oh no, I'd go ahead. It's cool.
Sure. Yeah. So I think the first point that you pointed out with these projects are really, really important. I agree a lot too. I did some thinking yesterday. So you have like Pangolin and Joel, which are the two dexes that were on AVAX or Avalanche right before this whole thing started. You have BankT, which is a new lending/borrowing platform, but it's just like a shitty Aave. And then you have Penguin. Yak is a auto compounder so like Auto Farm basically. Snow Globe is another one that's similar to Auto Farm. I don't know what Penguin does.
I think it's just the same thing. It's just a compounder.
Auto Farm? Oh, compounder. Okay, so Snowball, Penguin, and Yak all do the same thing as like pretty much Auto Farm. So basically, what I'm saying is like this ecosystem has so far been copy paste from just the same ideas, probably the same contract design from ETH and BSC. And now part of that AVAX initiative is partnered with Aave and Sushi. So Aave and Sushi will both deploy their contracts on Avalanche. On their front end, it'll be able to switch over to Avalanche just like you switch over to Polygon. So I don't see really Pangolin and Joel being much, like they will definitely lose volume once Sushi comes on, right? And same as BankT, like they will most likely lose volume a lot once Aave comes on. Now, so that's why, like, I don't know. I was thinking, okay, there's definitely that Avalanche ecosystem play. What are the opportunities? What are the ways to play this, right? I know Avalanche ecosystem overall probably go up. That's my analysis because of this fund. So easiest way is to just buy AVAX tokens. I think that's pretty much what is going to be the best bet right now for most people.
I also think Pangolin, just because it's so it's the welcome mat
Yeah, Pangolin is
ecosystem.
currently it's like 130 million, between
Yes.
100 and 130 million market cap, right? Yeah, it definitely. I think Pangolin PNG tokens will most likely outperform AVAX, but for bigger risk too, right? So I think it'll probably be like 2x outperforming AVAX maybe, but you're also looking at more downside. So you can definitely do it. But for me, I'd rather just do like straight up 2x long on AVAX instead of holding PNG spot. Now, if there are like, I think if I were betting on Dexys, I would probably take Joe instead of PNG. Not because like they're necessarily better or anything, but just because valuation is a bit smaller and they're not like as copy paste as the interface and everything else. Because if you look at Pangolin, it's pretty resembling of QuickSwap. Like everything is pretty much the same. And then why did QuickSwap not take off? It's not do as well as Pancake. It's because like there's other alternatives, right? Sushi is on Polygon, and people can swap on Sushi, and all the DeFi work with Sushi LP instead of Quick LP, right? And then, but that's not the same on BSC. Like BSC on BSC, Pancake is the individual DEX that's dominant. On Polygon, that's not the case. Already on AVAX, you're seeing that that's not going to be the case because Sushi is coming over. So I don't know if the DEX place will be much higher than like the 300, 400 million market cap range. Just because there's so many choices and Sushi. So yeah, for that, like, you know, I think Pangolin can get to maybe 300-400 million, but 1 billion, I don't know. So that's why like Joel at 50-60 million, I think it's decent, because then you can expand maybe like 200 million, right? You get what I mean, right? Like, yeah, like look at Pangolin. Like, yeah, right now it's going to outperform AVAX tokens just because it's smaller. But what's the ceiling for that, right? Assuming we're just starting the ecosystem fund for AVAX, and then look, like if you compare it to Polygon did like a 4 or 5x just for Matic tokens. So if AVAX can do 4 or 5x, can PNG outperform that much? I don't know. I think it'll be similar performance overall. Like, so I think for that we both have like we're trying to find the right things, like the same thing, which is like what's individually unique and built up a community already on Avalanche that won't be replaced by Aave or Sushi, right? Because Sushi has lending too, right? So that's another thing.
Yeah, Sushi's pretty much a complete.
Yeah, Sushi has like everything. So it has like, I don't know if Miso will be coming over. So maybe like Avalanche, right? I think you have that. I think you have that there.
Yeah,
So they're the only launch pad. Right? That's a possibility, but I don't know. I think that they're the only one I know.
I think there might be one more, but I know it's not a competitive market. But also at the same time, like that's going to be the first thing that comes over is a
launch pads, right?
Yeah, like those are the easiest things to make, essentially.
Yeah. I don't know. Like what was the best? So on BSC, right? We knew BNB was a good play. Cake was a good play.
Yeah,
because Cake was. Yeah, Matic was a good play, but what are the ecosystem DApp tokens that were good on Matic, like since very early?
Matic, I remember that there was like the Polywhale, which was like the auto compounder. I think that did like 10x or something.
That's good. That's good.
Which I mean, but we've already seen that with like Yieldiac and
yeah. So
they've rallied, but like they're not.
If I were to bet like on ecosystem just at what they have right now, I would take PFi, Snowball, and Yieldiac instead of Pangolin, Joel, and Benki. Just because like there isn't like a very dominant. Like Yearn isn't coming over, right? So that's kind of the Convex isn't going to be coming over. So these ones are still going to increase in TVL, right?
I might have put it in other chains, but someone did the math on how much money Yield would earn if they if a certain amount of total value locked was brought over to Avalanche. And I thought that was an interesting, like it assumed if it reached like a 5 billion total value locked or something like that, then it would generate an X amount of revenue, and then that revenue could be can then determine a rough range for the valuation of the protocol. But I don't see that currently.
Yeah, I think it's so like I know QuickSwap is a good project, right? I know you like QuickSwap, but it's just like pure performance-wise. When riding the Matic wave, like Quick wasn't the best outperformer. I think the reason is because of Sushi.
Yeah, I mean, Sushi definitely took a lot of volume, but QuickSwap did have the majority of the volume for my time.
Yeah?
On Matic. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think because it's like a liquidity issue, right? It's like the people that are already locked in Pangolin and Joe don't necessarily want to move their liquidity over to Sushi, is kind of my theory.
I see. Okay.
And like that's kind of my theory with kind of all these markets is like the people who are already farming on X chain, they don't want to move over to Y chain because it's just a hassle for the same APY, right? So we did see the DEXs outperform last time on Pangolin, like the blue chip.
Oh, yeah.
But they did steal a lot of volume. And yeah, so I think that definitely takes away from potential price discovery.
I'm trying to find like what's the cake, like what's the pancake swap on this? I don't see it yet. Like it's, yeah. If there's one like that, it'd be really good.
I think next we can anticipate shit coins, Avalanche to get their own Saint Bernard coin.
So many, yeah. Like, well, for now, it's totally fine to. I think I'd still bet on all of these. I hold AVAX right now. I think right now all of these are seeing a dip. I think they're all good opportunities, but what's something like Pancake? I don't know. I don't see it yet.
So was Pancake the original DEX to launch on?
I think so. They were one of the. So like if Avalanche can, like when they announced the fund, if it were individual and they say, okay, instead of partnering with Sushi, we're doing like 40 million just in Pangolin, then you can bet that Pangolin will go to like 2 billion. But that's not the case, I don't think. I think that the incentives are like very spread, like earning the AVAX are going to be all these protocols.
Yeah.
Even multiple DEXs. So yeah, it's mainly who they support. So maybe I think two ways, like we can go back to Polygon and see since the early days in Matic, which projects did like 100x, like in what kind of narrative, and also really pay attention to the AVAX Foundation like grants. If they do any like large grants for individual projects, it's DeFi focused grants, right? So if individual DeFi projects that receive large grants and there's no competitors in AVAX ecosystem, those will be, and if they're in like 50, 100 million, then yeah, those are like 10, 20x Xers for sure. Those I would bet on. But right now, I'm mostly taking AVAX tokens.
Yeah,
so far.
I think that's a pretty good bet. I don't really have a clear play necessarily. Like, there's nothing that just stands out. And
yeah, same.
I feel like it's just kind of more like we have to wait now for the shitcoin and the shitcoin devs to kind of just come over.
I'm okay. It might be a shitcoin that like starts off at like 10 million, launches on Avalanche, but like it's like something that is only on Avalanche, like you said, and then receives big funding from the grants. They check them for due diligence. Then all of a sudden, big players just start moving in. But I think overall, like, really good time to have exposure in the AVAX ecosystem. So everything that we just mentioned, AVAX tokens, Pangolin, Joel, Benki, Avalanche, PFi or Penguin Finance, Snowball. You have your what's the other one? Yodiak. All work the same way, kind of. They're all just like giving you exposure to the Avalanche ecosystem, but this is an ecosystem to pay attention to. Wait for like whichever project is going to be like unique and receives a big funding and doesn't have competitors. I think then I'll look to concentrate on that. But so far, just overall exposure. TA wise, like I think same strategy as like Luna and Sol. Like when it broke previous all-time high, right? So still looking at like $60, right? The break of 60 retest is gonna really kick off the next run, but still like currently you have the candle close there at like $40 range, like 38 maybe. Yeah. So that candle close there, you see that this weekly we're above it, right? The previous two candle closes, pretty much that red bar that you have.
Oh, yes, my bad.
Yeah, I think that's the point that I'm loading up at. Right around like 39. I think the retest there, I expect it to hold, but even if it doesn't, like, I have a stop loss right below that. So I think right now is the time to buy the dip. So I've already bought quite a bit, but anything like 39 to 40, 42 range, I think really good opportunity.
I think this is the opportunity to buy back, to buy in. So I don't think we're going to get much. Especially when it goes to the weekly. I don't think we're going to be breaking this, especially with the news. So.
Yeah, like if it does, then I don't know what we're doing here. Like it's if it really plays out to like another BSC/Matic, this needs to be explosive. This needs to continue. Like we can't see like weekly dump because that didn't happen for those like and this ecosystem fund is even bigger, right? So it's very hyped and it's just started to hype. So so that's I think that's a good level you have there. It's good to have a stop loss like right at like maybe 35. If it goes to 35, like I'm out. I think it's weird. It's not going to continue.
It would have just been by the news pretty much.
But why would that be the case? Maybe it's like more load up or Bitcoin. Okay, the other case is if Bitcoin starts stumping, then I would be careful. But if Bitcoin is holding still and all other altcoins are going, like I don't see this slowing down much.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I talk too much again. But yeah, I know you've been following Avalanche and Near for a while, so hopefully.
I do like the tech and I like it, but in a way I feel like this incentives came a little too early for something really cool to be caught on, right?
Yes, maybe they have like I think we just don't know. It's only been like less than a week, right? So maybe they have work with projects that like are just still building.
Yeah, but I think what I would have wanted to see more would be them to come out with their own kind of at least kind of like a few unique protocols and dApps that is pretty much Avalanche exclusive. And then that would kind of spur on some innovation. Like with this DeFi fund, I can almost anticipate now that there's going to be a lot of shit coins and kind of just a lot more copy pasta from here on out, rather than a naturally built community. And I think the community will come, and probably even faster with the incentives. However, it's everything's going to get drowned out. All the novel protocols are going to get drowned out by, the new dog coin or certain NFT projects, generative AVAX, avalanches,
Jesus.
and whatnot.
Oh my God.
I think we're going to see a lot of that rather than unique use cases. But regardless, I think this is a good opportunity to make money in the coming months. And so if you're a farmer, look into Avalanche.
You can get like 2,000% right now, like on like AVAX, Pangolin, Liquidity, I think.
Jeez.
Like compounded. It's through Yak, I think.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to buy all these projects for dumb cheap too.
It's okay, don't worry about if you look at the chart, it looks like I'm buying right at resistance, but like that's what.
Well, I think
it's fine.
This chart paints a different picture. I think when you look at the weekly, as long as we get a strong close, or a close above, I think that's a pretty bullish, pretty bullish for Avalanche here. Is this a higher close? So
I don't think you can turn back the time here. I think it's just like we can ignore the lows now. Like I don't think it'll go there. Not with incentive.
No, I don't think it's going back in time.
Can't direct time. I think the upside is still there, so all good. So great stuff. I think overall it should be as long as Bitcoin performs, then Bitcoin dominance will be okay. Then two narratives, two main chains for month of September to make money on, like Avalanche and KSM. Really good. Just dumbing it down for myself, so it's like I know where to focus the attention on. Awesome. Great, good stuff. Hopefully we're right, and AVAX and pump to like $200. That's the dream.
Hopefully.
But hope so. Oh shit! What?
My room's too dark right now. I would jump.
No worry. It's okay. I like the punk. I need a punk for myself. Okay, let's do some questions, and then feel free to jump off if you need. But I'll just briefly go through them.
I'll just hang out.
Okay, cool. So asking about ADA. ADA's good. I mean, we can do the TA tomorrow, but ADA, like I saw a bit of opportunity like on the flip of $2. The retest there was good, just price wise. But they say September 12th coming out with smart contracts, but they've been saying that for like forever. So hopefully it's true. At what price will we be selling RMRK tokens? So this is interesting because RMRK is KSM native. I think I got it right around $2 per token, which is like 20 million total diluted valuation. Pretty low for this product of this caliber. So I don't know. A fair valuation, I think at least 100 million total diluted. But can it get there very quickly? I don't know, because they're not very hyped. That they're not trying to go for those kind of marketing. So I don't know. But I think a fair valuation, at least $10. Okay, seeing questions. So Molanoni says, Altcoin session is overdue. Bitcoin dominance starting to go up. 2018 is back. Nah, no. All people ask the coins, but no one asks, how are you? I'm good, man. Just joining. You guys start? Yeah, we start at 6 p.m. UTC every Sunday. So Aloxa asked, so Avalanche has more room to go or should do near? Avalanche definitely has more room to go. Watch the replay. We did a whole thing, but I don't think they're so comparative. Like tech wise, yes, but they're in different parts of their cycles. Near is still kind of more like long-term investment. You don't know when they're going to really start to push their ecosystem. It is definitely undervalued, but that's more longer term. Avalanche is shorter term. Catalyst is here. Next couple of months is going to be big for Avalanche. Dash, good coin, but very legacy. What the hell is AVAX? You guys do giveaways? We don't. Is it too late to buy AVAX spot? No, I don't think so. Okay, so popping that off. Let's do a bit of Discord questions. Let me share my screen here. Share my screen. We'll just do like 10 minutes. Won't go over much longer. Okay, going to events chat. So, doing a Kusama crowd loan with fees on the first 3 blocks is steal money from. Mike needs your help. That's funny. Yeah, Mahi's on his phone today, so that was the main reason. But I think it's really good. The overall information. I think I got exactly what was really alpha, which is month of September, KSM crowd loans. I know I need to focus on KSM for September. XRT sender rewards through, though they didn't win a slot yet. Okay. Yeah, Realty is the project, Car Farm. That's the one I was referring to. For ETH, they do like real estate, tokenized real estate shares that like earn interest like 10% or so every year based on the real estate rent. They've been around for years, but they don't have the kind of volume that you expect, like very little. So I don't think it's one that needs high throughput. Could you walk through how to get Bacon tokens on InfinityPad or Gate.io? Read the instructions, was still confused, got to get iPad DAO, etc. Yeah, so you need to stake iPad tokens on InfinityPad. There's a link that we just dropped. You can also check it out in the iPad Twitter. We will share this in it's already in our Telegram. We will share it on our Twitter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a tutorial for DAO Maker, like a video tutorial. I'll try to find that, but the process for iPad is exactly the same because it's the same technology, just on PSC with the iPad token and a different branding. Got stuck on how to get iPad tokens, couldn't find them on PancakeSwap. So they're on Gates. I would imagine they're on Pancake, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Luke review. Punk does not match the face. SLP. Doge hold PM. Doge is still good. Holding above 30 cents range. I'll do a bit of more TA tomorrow in the insider report. But Doge is still good. So far, so good. It's pure technical trade, right? And just waiting on like, Elon Musk and Vitalik are both on the new Dogecoin Foundation now. So expect more just random pumps whenever they tweet. Guess I'm not presenting Sierra on Discord. Yeah. Oh yeah, Wonka. So the TA, I've been thinking like how we should have a separate TA day. So maybe we can both present tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe like you have a separate day for your TA, and then I do my TA for the insider report. I think both can work. Let's see how we do in tomorrow's call. Macro of how it's looking SLP. Right, so the Axie Infinity. So we have the application form ready. It's going to go out later today, as well as an announcement. So we can people can start to sign up with the proposal that we did. We're trying to onboard like 75 scholars in the first month or so while we scale up. Luke and Bamzo are going to be the managers. Fee breakdown is all there. You're going to get a bit of Bacon tokens and a bit of SLP for the first month, and then fully SLP after. But it looks to be about 60% split for revenue to scholars, 20 manager, 20 DAO. 20% managers, 20% DAO. Okay. So for any more Axie related questions for the economy, how they're changing the SLP mission and requirements, go into the Axie chat and let's chat there. Is it true that Cardano relies on Link? I have no idea. I do have a new mic for tomorrow, actually. I just ordered a new dynamic mic, so hopefully it'll sound even better than this. Tomorrow, so don't worry. Okay. Yeah, so DORAP, just to limit the calls to around 1 hour. So we're doing way more calls over every week. So we'll try to put out a calendar, but the Sunday call stays the same time. And then for Monday calls, because of the inside reports are coming back, I will present tomorrow with another call purely for TA. I'm going through the inside reports, Altcoin Gen picks. Hopefully, we'll do like myself and Wonka do TA together for tomorrow. Wonka is back to the Wonka name. Nice, let's go. I hear him quite metallic. Yeah, I have a new mic that'll be settled real soon. Let's just answer a couple more questions and then we're done. Would you rather hold ETH or AVAX long term? Definitely ETH. AVAX is short term play right now, but it is a strong ecosystem though. BeatBang asks Pulse Chain. Yeah, so I sacrificed 300K in Pulse Chain just because not just because. I have an interview on YouTube with Crypto Jumpstart. You should go watch that if you want my full kind of breakdown of why I think this is a good opportunity, but it's too late for that now. It's too late to sacrifice. Just waiting on when they launch, and they're looking to launch in probably a month and a half, so we'll see. Not just because. The reasoning is very it's basically very similar design as Hex, like tokenomics marketing team, right? But like a much bigger narrative, much bigger scale, and easier to understand, and a lot of the kind of traditional type of like influencers, mainstream media, investors, crypto investors are in this. Instead of like they were shunning away Hex, but they're in this. So I think it'll do better than Hex. It'll have an easier time to market than Hex. What's your insider reports tomorrow? Yeah, hopefully. So I'll try to get right on that. That'll release on our hub. I'll try to be the main lead for this to set a good example for this week. Michael asks, what is your short-term assessment of Solana? I took some profits at $76, looking to re-enter. I don't know. Still more upside, but I don't think it's straight up. I'm hoping for a dip to around $50, then I can buy back. Then I can enter. I don't hold any Solana right now. I was waiting for a dip to like 45 to 50, like I mentioned on TikTok. Hasn't happened yet. If it happens, I'll buy. If it doesn't, I'll be glad to miss it. I'll be okay with missing it. How do ITA boy ask? Do you think card starter? Right? I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know that project. I know what it is. It's a launchpad on Cardano, but that's all I know. And I don't know. I don't even know their valuation, so no idea. Yeah. Honestly, the Cardano ecosystem, really not sure. Like they gotta really do something good there. Like there's not much there. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you for tuning in to this week's BaconDAO community call. Oh yeah, so our launch, right? We're gonna be on Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and Gate.io on. Plan is I don't remember what the date. August 31st, I think is the planned listing date. I don't know if we have announced that yet, but that's the planned listing. Yeah. So if it weren't announced, it's still fine. Look out for the official announcement. And then what else? Our SHO is from the 24th to 26th. And then Gate.io startup 25th to 26th. Yeah, so Bacon token is coming. And then right after that, all the membership stuff, the farm to get the NFTs will turn on. Everyone will get their tokens right at the listing time. Why are there these date ranges? When will time be announced? Yeah, the date range is because sorry, I was just reading what's on Discord right now. So the date range is because the iPad SHO is not like a first come, first serve. It's a period where you need to enter the whitelist, you send the money in, you do the KYC, etc. They tally up like how many people were selected, and then they tell you, okay, you won. So that requires like 2 days period. Same thing for Gate.io. They're not like everyone rushing in at the same time. That's not the design. But the listing, the best time to list is start of the week instead of weekend. That's why we're not going with Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pretty much no project is on the weekends. It's just like there's no volume, there's not much interest. So we want the best launch for it. Oh damn, even more. No, it's not. That's the public sale. That's not the pre-sale. But yeah. Those are all unlocked day one. 100% unlocked at the listing price. Yeah. Are U.S. citizens still not able to buy early? Yeah. Unfortunately not. Just as any other token sale, you're not able to. Like, yeah. Can you buy from DEX and stake for NFT? Yes, you can. CTM dry sense of humor. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's very dry. Okay. Someone get Dennis some artwork for his walls. He needs to print out them playing cards. I do. The playing cards are very sick, actually. It's one of the good NFTs that I currently hold some right now. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow. Let's try to cut the call here. I see Wonka doing some more TA. Yeah. Let's do TA tomorrow together, Wonka, around the same time if you can. Look out for the insider reports tomorrow. Thanks everyone for tuning in for the stream today. If you are into this kind of stream, we do this every Sunday at 6 p.m. UTC. So look out for this stream, same stream next Sunday. And look out for insider reports tomorrow. We'll try to have a whole calendar start to come out and more regular streams. Aside from that, thanks everyone. Appreciate you. See you next week. Bye-bye.